everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Josie. Today I'm going to do the second part of my series on bullying. And I decided instead of you watching me, I'm just going to let you watch my screen today. And the disclaimer is this is not a replacement for professional therapy, and this is not for children to watch. Some of my information that I'm using today, I've gotten written permission from the Stop Bullying Now Foundation. They're out of Florida, and I will put this information in my video. And I'm going to go back just a wee bit on what defines bullying. Bullying is done with the intent of hurting others. This can be physically or emotionally. A bully is fully aware that they are hurting their targets, and they do it anyway. And some of my information is from this foundation, and some is not. Some is from other areas. And naturally, I have to put my personal opinion in a little bit. You know, most of the target groups are maybe children that have a disability, are a little bit different. Maybe they don't wear the best of clothes. Maybe they're considered a nerd because they wear glasses and they study all the time. There's just a lot of different groups, which is very, very sad. Also, I did not realize this. There is no federal anti-bullying law, although 49 states have anti-bullying legislation. Bullying is not illegal. In particular, when youth dies by suicide, it is misleading to cover the story as a crime. Rather, consider covering it in a public health issue. And harassment is actually not illegal. And I don't know if that is good or bad. I have no personal opinion on that one. Also, I did not read this last time. 280,000 students are physically attacked in secondary school each month. 160 miss school days, fear of being bullied. 77% are bullied mentally, verbally, physically. Cyberbullying statistics are rapidly approaching similar numbers. 43% fear harassment in the bathrooms of schools. That is really sad. 1 out of 4 will be abused by another youth. 1 out of 5 admit to being bullied or doing some bullying. Very serious, subject, I think. Okay, teaching your child safety strategies. Remember that hitting back is not a choice at school and shouldn't be encouraged. In schools with zero tolerance policy for physical aggression, encourage your child to hit back may just get him expelled. Now I'm going to put my personal opinion in this one. I don't agree. I think that schools should not be expelling a child for defending themselves. Now, this is my personal opinion. I have always told my son that I better not find out he ever started a fight, but if somebody hit him, I wanted him to fight back and defend himself. Again, this is my personal opinion. I think most bullies, if the person they're bullying fights back, they usually stop. Because they're actually usually very weak people mentally. Encourage your child to walk away and tell an adult if he feels someone is about to hurt him. I'm not, again, on my personal opinion, I'm not sure adults always really listen that closely, and they think the kids are just going to figure it out on their own. Talk about a safe way to act in situations that might be dangerous. For example, identify a safe house or a store where you can find sanctuary if pursued by bullies. Nowadays, with everything going on in the world, not so many children just walk to school. Their parents either drop off or pick up, or they're on a bus. But again, they can be bullied on the bus. Teach your child how to report bully incidents to adults in an effective way. Adults are less likely to discount a child's report as tattling if the report includes what is being done to him that makes him fearful or uncomfortable, who is doing it, what he has done to try to resolve the problem or to get bullying to quit. If somebody is bullying you, do you actually think they're going to listen to reason? See, I don't agree on that either. Okay, your attitude and actions. Listen carefully to your child's report of being bullied. Be sympathetic and take the problem seriously. Be careful not to overreact or underreact. I totally agree. I think that a mistake that a lot of parents make is they're busy, they're doing something, and especially nowadays they're on their phone or iPad, they don't always listen. This is really a serious, serious subject. Do not blame the victim. When a child finally works up the courage to report bullying, it isn't appropriate to criticize him for causing it or not handling the situation correctly. For an example, don't ask, well, what did you do to bring it on? True. Usually, and I can say there are exceptions. Some children like to tease, and that might bring it on. But most of the time, also bullying goes along with there's more than one person. There's usually two or three. Encourage your child to keep talking to you. Spend extra time with him. Provide constant support and encouragement. And tell him that you love him often. This is really important. I think communication is, in other incidents too, communication with your children is the most important thing that you can have. The one thing you should be really careful about, if your child tells you something in confidence, if you feel like you have to repeat it, then tell that child. Because if he or she tells you something in confidence and then they hear it somewhere else, they're not going to come to you anymore and tell you what is happening. So that trust and confidence is so important. What can parents of a victim do? If you know or suspect your child's being bullied, but his school hasn't communicated with you about the situation, you should contact your child's teacher right away. Keep in mind that your primary goal should be to get your school's cooperation to get the bullying to stop. Knowing your own child is being victimized can invoke strong feelings, but you'll get more cooperation from school personnel if you stick to the facts without becoming overly emotional. While you may want assurance that everyone involved is punished severely, try to focus on putting an end to the bullying. This is really important. If you go and storm into a school in a school office and you're screaming and yelling, you're going to get nowhere, you know. And it's difficult as a parent if you feel and you know your child is being abused, and bullying is abusive. You're going to be upset. And I know as a mother, you know, we're like little mother hens. I mean, we're going to be upset. But try to calm down. Try to go in there and be as professional as you possibly can. And hopefully you will get a lot further. Bullying signs and symptoms. A youngster who is bullying other kids may display one of the following behaviors at home. Now this is the person, the child or person who is doing the bullying, has a strong need to dominate and subdue others, asserts himself with power and threatens to get his own way, intimidates his siblings or kids in the neighborhood, brags about his actual or imagined superiority over other kids, is hot-tempered, easily angered, impulsive, has low frustration tolerance, has difficulty conforming to rules and tolerating adversities and delays. If he has an impulsive, hyperactive type of ADHD, that could explain some of his behaviors. If so, it's important to work with his doctor and teachers to address and manage such behaviors. Cheating is another one. This is a really serious thing. And you know, again, parents want to, how should I say this? It's hard for them to accept that their child could do anything wrong. A parent will defend his child or her child no matter what. But you need to be realistic for the good of your child and for the good of other children. And remember, if it's not curtailed when they're growing, they may grow up with the same tendencies as an adult. The victim, signs and symptoms. A child who is a victim of bullying may display one or more of the following behaviors at home. Comes home from school with clothing that is torn or disarrayed, or with damaged books. I will make a comment. I remember when one of my sons came home from school. He had a brand new jacket, and I was very poor in those days and had just bought him a brand new jacket, and some kids at school or after school, and I don't know where they got the eggs, but they threw eggs and got eggs all over his brand new jacket. Some of his friends came to his defense, but it was really terrible because, like I said, it was brand new, and we were on a very, very low, strict budget. So things like this are really traumatic. I never forgot the incident, and I'm sure my son never did. Has bruises, cuts, scratches, but can't give a logical explanation for how he got them. Appears afraid or reluctant to go to school in the morning. Complaining repeatedly about headaches or stomach pains. Chooses an illogical route going to school and from school. Has bad dreams or cries in his sleep. Loses interest in schoolwork and his grades suffer. Appears sad or depressed. Requests money from you to meet the bully's demands. and even resorts to stealing money from you and other family members. Seems socially isolated with a few, if any, real friends. Is rarely invited to parties or to homes of other kids. His fear of rejection may lead him to shun others. This is very, very sad. So sad. And I think, like I said, now with social media, the cyberbullying has just gotten out of hand. And I think it's the parents' responsibility to communicate with their children, to go to school and try to get to the bottom of all the bullying. If it's possible, walk with your children to the bus, take your children to school. I know sometimes with working parents this is impossible, but I hope the information that I have given you will at least, it won't solve your problems, but it might give you a little start to maybe look into this situation with your children. Like I said, if they come home very sad and in the morning they also have a headache and a stomach ache and they don't want to go to school, a lot of it is emotional, it's not physical. So please take this serious, and if you have any questions, ask them in the comment section. I'm not sure if I'll do a third. This subject is, there's so many things to talk about, and I may do a third if I see that anyone's interested in it. If not, I will choose another subject, and I do have another video to do on grieving for children. Excuse me. So thank you for watching. Hopefully I've given you some information that will help you. And if you like my content, give me a thumbs up. I will appreciate any comments, whether you like or dislike what I have said. I always, have to put a little bit of my personal comment in with experience. I've not had to deal with that very much. I have to say, I only know of one incident of one of my boys being bullied. But, sometimes kids don't always communicate unless it's a really severe, because they're not going to, everyone's not going to like us, and we're not going to like everyone, so they're going to have problems just like we do as adults, so you don't always hear, but it's not easy growing up. Remember that. Kids have a lot of stress. So anyway, I will end this. I'm just rattling on now, and have a great day. Be safe and be careful, and talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.